Hi, I'm Celin, and today I'll be explaining how I went about building this rubber-powered airplane. So to get started, first what you'd want to do is you start by building the fuselage. That's this part right here that my thumb is touching right now. So that's going to be the most crucial part of your, aircraft. So that needs to be the strongest part. So what I did, I have 3 thicknesses of 1/16 inch balsa, which tapers down to 2 thicknesses at the back of the airplane. Let me just see if I can get it focused. Hang on. Well, maybe not. We'll see. Okay. So once that was built, oh, and also I forgot to mention this little front piece here that the propeller mounts to. That's something that needs to be strong, because if you crash, this propeller is going to hit the ground, and if this part right here isn't strong enough, it's just going to break off and you'll have to re-glue it. So I put a little triangle of balsa wood right there. My thumb is pointing to it right now. You might not be able to see it because I packed a bit of super glue in there to make it even stronger. But yeah, anyway. And then I built the wing, and in the previous portfolio you can see that I have reduced the weight of the airplane by cutting out this whole, these sections here that's clear. So it was originally just one whole foam wing. I cut some sections out of it, and if I turn it at the right angle, you'll see that there's some plastic wrap covering that wing. Can you see the reflection? And in the previous portfolio I discovered, well, I should say, after I did that portfolio, I discovered that if I use a hairdryer, I can shrink up this plastic wrap and it tightens up very nicely over the wing. So that makes the aerodynamics even better. And then the wing basically, it mostly supports itself because the foam is quite stiff, but to improve the stiffness even more, I put a 1/16 inch by 1/16 inch balsa strip at the leading edge. So that'll add a bit more stability, not much, but still some. And then I put these wing struts right here, which are just toothpicks, which are probably made of bamboo. And then for the main supports, I used some bigger pieces of balsa. I'm not sure what measurement they are. It's probably 3/16 inch by 2/16 inch balsa. It's just stock, And then same for the back, and then I added this piece right here to give it a bit more fore and aft stiffness. And also that little black piece is also balsa that I colored with a marker. That also creates that forward and aft stiffness that I was talking about earlier. And also you might be wondering why I have the wings angled up at the ends. Well, that's because if you have them angled up like that, it makes it more stable. So if it's like this, it'll want to right itself and stay level. By adding, it's called dihedral, and dihedral, if you have too much, it'll reduce the lift and it'll just be added weight. But if you have the dihedral just right, it'll make it more stable without sacrificing a lot of lift. And now onto the tail. This is kind of an experimental tail design. I built it quite a while ago. So I found out if I have some of the elevator, this piece is the elevator, also known as the horizontal stabilizer. If I cut part of it farther than actually where the hinge is for the elevator, that's the hinge right there, so that's where it bends. If I cut past it, then I'll get a more responsive elevator. And that helps because I like to do, sometimes I just use this as a glider and just try to make good landings. without any power, and that elevator helps a lot. And then I just kind of bent the corners of it down just a little bit on the front part that wasn't cut, just because I think it looks cool, and maybe it has some aerodynamic, advantages. I'm not sure what they might be, but I think it looks cool. And then the rudder, sometimes known as the vertical stabilizer. It's nothing too special about it. I just, I probably should make it a little bit taller. But this is the rudder that controls if I want it to go, left or right. I don't have any ailerons, so I can't really control whether the airplane goes like this or like that. But that's okay because I have all this dihedral, so it's stable. And also the landing gear, some might say it's heavy, and it is heavy. For this little airplane, it is pretty heavy, but it also adds more stability because all that weight is sort of at the bottom. It's like a ballast on a ship. That ballast is there so it doesn't tip over so easy. Same things with this airplane. Now, if I wanted to, I could take this landing gear off just by sliding it out of that little plastic little attachment, I guess you could call it, that I found. Let me see if I can get it out. Okay, I'm going to set the camera down a second. Alright, here we go. And obviously, since the airplane is lighter without the landing gear, you'll get better flight times. It's actually quite a bit lighter without the landing gear. But I'd say it's funner to fly with the landing gear. It also reduces the chance of you damaging your prop or breaking this little brace that the prop assembly mounts to. So, yeah, that's how I went about building this. So first fuselage, this part right here, the whole, body of the airplane, then the wings, and then the tail. That's how I went about building it.